Blu-ray. Define Blu-ray. Hey everyone, Big Pauly back for a brand new episode of A Carpenter's Tale. Yes, I know, it's been a while, but I thought I'd better get back into it as we're in the Halloween season. The film I decided to watch today isn't really Halloween related, even though there was a massive pumpkin at the beginning of the video. Yes, first time watch ever. John Carpenter's Starman, starring Jeff Bridges and Karen Allen. This is basically a retelling of E.T. in a way. Alien comes to Earth. Human helps alien elude the authorities and get to his people. Scientist decides to help alien. Alien goes home. Pretty much E.T. retelling in the human form. So basically, Starman, I'm a Starman. Yes, no, we won't do too much of that. Basically, back in 1977, NASA decided to launch the Voyager 2 probe to go out there, explore the galaxy, gather data, and they sent this big gold disc with all languages and pictures and history of the planet in order maybe one day that someone will come to visit us. Voyager 2 was intercepted and all the data read in a far off galaxy by this alien race, and decided to send one of their own to Earth in order to make contact and see what we're all about. Of course, being the good old US, shoot first and ask questions later. Yes, unfortunately, the alien ship crash lands on Earth, and the alien from the ship makes its way to a nearby house on a lake where Karen Allen lives. A very sad Karen Allen, because a year before her husband died in a tragic accident and she's still in the mourning phase. But this alien is a bright ball of light and it goes around the house kind of like the Abyss style. Do you remember the water tentacle in the Abyss? The way that it went through doors and looked at things in the house, that kind of effect. And settled on photograph album and a videotape, a video projector, and saw these photographs of Jeff Bridges' character, which was Karen Allen's husband. Also in the photo album was a lock of his hair as well. So being that the alien is like hundreds of thousand years advanced than we are, decides to analyse the hair down to the DNA and create this life form that grows from a very small baby on the carpet floor and develops into a replica of Karen Allen's husband, Jeff Bridges. Now, the effects are quite dated. It's like the Terminator special effect in the first Terminator. When he was digging out his eye, you could tell it's fake. For the time, probably the special effects were fantastic. It's Stan Winston, it's Rick Baker, it's Industrial Light and Magic, and it was probably cutting edge at the time. But yeah, it shows its age now. It shows how dated it is, but it's still enjoyable. Of course, this baby grows rapidly into Jeff Bridges and scares the crap out of Karen Allen, as you would. And then it becomes a learning process. You know, this alien entity in this human form body doesn't know what it does, you know, doesn't know when it gets hungry, probably has a problem having a poo, Unless you're John Travolta. It should have come back in John Travolta's body. Then you're all set for a poo. Yeah, it doesn't know emotion. It knows all these languages, tries to communicate with Karen Allen, and doesn't understand, you know, Earth's ways and how people react, and doesn't understand human nature. What starts out as a kind of kidnapping, Karen Allen trying to get away from this alien entity in her dead husband's body, eventually blossoms into a friendship as she realises this is an alien. She wants to help it return to its people, to go home, and she doesn't want to leave it because of the memories of her husband. So the film also becomes a road trip as both Karen Allen's character Jenny and Starman go across country to Arizona, to the big meteorite crater there, where he's going to be met by his people and going to beam him up and he can go home. Of course, the military are hot on their tail, the police are hot on their tail, and there's a few scrapes here and there. Starman also has these little silver globes that he holds in his hand as well that have special powers, give him special abilities. And each time he uses one, I think he gets weaker and weaker, and the longer he stays on Earth, he gets weaker as well. So he has to go home. He only has 3 days to get to Arizona to meet his people, and it becomes a race, both against time and against the military as well, to try and get there. So this film is from 1984. It's a John Carpenter film, of course. Even though we are in horror season, I'm actually reviewing a science fiction romantic movie. But it's John Carpenter, so it forms a Carpenter's tale. Now, the story for this, as I say, kind of follows the lines of E.T., kind of. There's a great relationship between Jenny and Starman the longer that they stay together, and also blossoms romantically. Starman also eventually gives Karen something that she's always wanted, and it also helps Jenny with her healing process after losing her husband. So the acting in the film is fantastic. Karen Allen is brilliant as helpless, scared, kidnapped woman, not knowing what's going to happen to her, and she loosens up along the journey, as I say, as she gets closer to Starman. But Jeff Bridges, for me, this is pretty much his film. I've seen a lot of films with Jeff Bridges, and to be perfectly honest, I think this is his best performance ever. The way that he captured Starman, the way that he threw innocence into it, and trying to be aware of all his surroundings by his little tics and his little quirks, picking up something, not knowing what it is, and just the interactions that he had with people as well. Also, his mannerisms also reminded me of J. Lee Hole-Osment in Artificial Intelligence. You know, the way that he was becoming aware of around him and trying to understand human nature. It was fantastic all the way through the film. Absolutely fantastic. I couldn't take my eyes off Jeff Bridges' performance and just every little thing that he did. It is a very moving film. I did drop a tear or two as I thought about other things and, you know, people that I've lost in my past. It is a science fiction love story, and it's just a heartwarming but also a heartbreaking film, and it's just a really great science fiction film. The music was great. I don't believe it was John Carpenter that did the music, even though it had that synth feel to it, of mainly a lot of films in the 80s did. It had a nice theme. It was kind of a repeating theme, but yeah, it was a good soundtrack through the film. Now the film is 115 minutes, so just short of 2 hours. The only thing I would say, I think it ended a little abrupt. at the end of the film. I thought there could be something a little bit more just to ease us out rather than coming to a standstill, but it was still good. It was still good. The picture quality was really good, considering it's 1984. Watched it on the projector here, nice clear image. Not a lot of grain. I couldn't see a lot of grain, obviously filmed on cameras. As I said earlier, the special effects of the time do look a little bit dated and maybe a little ropey in a few areas, but you have to remember how old this film is. The sound was Dolby True HD, which was really good. It's 5.1. Not a lot of use of surrounds and not a lot of use of the subwoofer, apart from the odd explosion here and there, but dialogue was crisp and clear. Unfortunately, there's no special features on Starman whatsoever. This was actually purchased from Poundland, so this is a Poundland purchase. You do get artwork on the disc, and I didn't know until I opened it because it was still wrapped, but you also get a poster, a nice poster, yes. He has travelled from a galaxy far from our own, beyond our own. He is 100,000 years ahead of us. He has powers we cannot comprehend, and he is about to face the one force in the universe he has yet to conquer: love. Yeah, a nice little poster. So for £2, that's a really good deal from Poundland. So I'm happy I picked that up when I did. So how would I rate Starman on a scale of 1 to 10? Considering I've seen films like The Thing, which is one of John Carpenter's classics, the original Halloween, which I might have another viewing before I watch the 2018 film. I know the 2018 Halloween wasn't directed by John Carpenter, but I'm actually going to keep it in this viewing because it is John Carpenter related, and I think people would like to know how I compare that to the original. Also, The Fog with Jamie Lee Curtis, had fun with that. They Live. I've still got a few films to go, but yeah, Starman was today's movie. I'm going to give it 9 aliens waiting to go home. Yeah, 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed the film. It was emotional. It was tender. It was exciting. I loved the science fiction elements to it. And it was just a great film about these two people and their connections and dealing with your past, dealing with loss and accepting life. So yeah, really enjoyed Starman. I hope you enjoyed this review of John Carpenter's Starman. If you did enjoy the review, give it a couple of thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Comment down below if you've seen Starman. Did you like it? Did you not like it? And what your favourite John Carpenter movie is. And I shall see you on the next video. Bye!